right, listeners, get ready because today we're going to do a deep dive into a contemporary romance novel called Gold Digger by Susie Tate. And let me tell you, it sounds juicy. We're talking billionaire Duke falling for his cleaner.
Ooh, now that's a power imbalance for the books.
Oh, absolutely. And we've got a ton to work with here. The Amazon Kindle store page has got it all. A steamy description, reviews galore, and get this, even a video review.
Oh, wow. Well, that description really sets the scene for that classic forbidden love,
Yeah.
what we all love. Okay, so we got Duke Oliver Harding, and he's not just like your average wealthy guy. This guy was voted Britain's sexiest aristocrat.
Whoa.
I mean, come on. That's a title with some serious baggage, right?
You think?
And then on the other side, we've got Lottie, who's described as kind of clumsy, struggling financially. Oh, and she's responsible for her 8-year-old sister who's in foster care.
Oh, wow.
So you can already see the challenges stacking up there.
Yeah, some heavy stuff. But you know where things get really interesting for me, at least from what I've read so far? The description mentions this, like a betrayal of trust, and then there's a fake engagement. Oh, and you know me, I love a fake relationship trope. And then there's a journey of self-discovery, for the Duke, of course. So it seems like our billionaire bad boy might have some growing up to do.
Yeah.
What do you think about all that, from a writer's perspective?
Well, you hit the nail on the head with that fake relationship thing. It's popular for a reason, You got these two characters that would never normally even cross paths. But now they're forced to spend all this time together. So you have witty banter, forced proximity, and of course, the slow burn romance.
Ooh, yeah, the slow burn.
But what I find really intriguing here is that it seems like Susie Tate is flipping the script on that classic Cinderella story.
We mean?
Well, it's not the commoner who needs saving this time. It's the Duke.
Huh. He's the one who needs to learn and grow.
Exactly.
Interesting. And that totally ties in with that whole power dynamic we were talking about.
Oh, for sure.
You've got this incredibly wealthy and privileged Duke falling for a woman who's just trying to make ends meet.
It's bound to create some sparks.
Yeah, some serious tension.
And it's not just about the money either. You've got social status expectations, all that stuff that shapes how we see the world. This Duke, for all his wealth and charm, he might be totally blind to the struggles someone like Lottie faces every single day.
Yeah, he's living in a bubble.
Exactly. So it's more than just a romance, It's about confronting privilege and how these two different worlds collide.
Yeah, bridging the gap. Oh, and speaking of different worlds, the book description mentions some trigger warnings. Assault, domestic violence, and childhood neglect.
Yeah, that caught my eye too.
So it seems like Kate's weaving some heavier themes into this romance.
Definitely. And I really appreciate that she includes those warnings up front, shows a sensitivity to readers who might be affected by those issues. And it hints at the depth of the story. This isn't just some light and fluffy romance. It's tackling real-world issues, within this love story.
Right. It's adding layers. Okay, but now let's get to the good stuff, the reader reviews. People are absolutely raving about Gold Digger. I mean, I'm seeing comments like, perfect enemies to lovers.
Oh, I love that, Trip.
Right. But my absolute favorite comment, MMC's groveling is goal A. And just so everyone knows, MMC stands for main male character. So it sounds like Duke Oliver is going to be eating some humble pie.
Oh, yeah, he's going to have to work for it.
For sure. What else have you noticed about the reviews?
Well, aside from everyone loving the Duke's groveling, readers are really highlighting the witty banter, the emotional depth, and how strong the characters are. It seems like Susie Tate really knows how to write characters that are relatable, but you still aspire to be like them.
Oh, and of course, the humor.
Oh, yeah, the humor. And speaking of humor, this is where things get really cool. The Kindle page has this AI-generated mood analysis of the book.
Oh.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It breaks down the emotional tone by percentage. So apparently Gold Digger is 30% humorous, 15% emotional, 10% sad. They've even got categories like touching and melancholy. Wow, I've never seen that before. That's like a sneak peek into the emotional roller coaster we're going to go on.
Right. And there's one review I want to point out. It's titled, Another Susie Tate Book for the Win. And this reader loved Gold Digger even more than the previous book in the series, which is actually where these characters were first introduced. Apparently there was some simmering tension between them in that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it sounds like there's some history between the Duke and Lottie.
That definitely adds another layer, a pre-existing connection. That could complicate things even more.
Oh, for sure.
It makes me wonder, what is it about this kind of romance novel with the forbidden love and the power imbalance that really resonates with readers?
That's a great question. What do you think?
I think a lot of it comes down to escapism. Romance novels, they offer this chance to step into a world where love conquers everything, where characters find happiness no matter what obstacles are in their way. And I think
Mhm.
in a world that feels so chaotic and unpredictable these days, that kind of escapism can be really appealing.
Yeah, I totally get that. But it's not just about the happy endings, is it? I think there's something about seeing these characters from completely different worlds,
Yeah,
and how they find that common ground.
exactly. And in Gold Digger, that gap is huge E. You've got the Duke's world, all that opulence, and then you have Lottie's everyday struggles.
Right.
It's like a modern fairy tale, but with more grit,
Yeah,
more complexity.
yeah. And I think that complexity comes through in the character development as well.
Yeah,
It's not just Lottie's journey. The Duke has his own transformation to go through.
absolutely. He starts out as this entitled aristocrat, totally oblivious. But through his interactions with Lottie, he has to confront his privilege and all the limitations of his worldview. It's not just falling in love with her. It's about becoming a better man because of her.
Yeah, I love that. Speaking of becoming a better man, though, all those reviews about the Duke groveling really caught my attention. What do you think that tells us about him?
Well, it sounds like he really screws things up. He does something to betray Lottie's trust,
Yeah.
and then he has to work to earn it back. And that groveling, that humbling himself and acknowledging his mistakes, that's a big part of his transformation.
For sure. And I bet that whole fake engagement thing just adds fuel to the fire.
Oh, absolutely.
Think about it. Forced proximity,
Yeah.
witty banter, maybe even some steamy moments disguised as acting.
Oh, yeah.
That's a recipe for some serious romantic tension.
You're so right. And that fake engagement trope, it lets the author build a really slow burn romance filled with anticipation, while these characters are navigating this pretend relationship. And their real feelings are simmering under the surface. And Susie Tate, I'm sure she knows how to really milk that tension.
Oh, I bet. Okay, now we can't forget about Lottie's little sister, Haley. She's described as traumatized and selectively mute. But instantly tugs at your heartstrings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Haley adds this whole other layer to the story. She really highlights Lottie's strength and resilience, and she kind of reminds us of the real challenges kids in foster care face.
Yeah. It makes you wonder how Haley's going to react to the Duke and what role she might play in their relationship.
That's a really interesting thought. Kids are so perceptive, especially when it comes to sensing kindness and genuine care. Maybe Haley's the one who helps the Duke see Lottie, not just as his cleaner, but for who she really is.
I love that. Okay. I'm already hooked. Now, the description also mentions this betrayal of trust as like the central conflict of the book. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's hard to say for sure without reading it, but I imagine it has something to do with that power dynamic between them. Maybe he does something unknowingly that hurts her, that betrays her trust. And he has to really confront his own blind spots and fight for her back.
Ooh, juicy.
It's that classic redemption arc that we love.
Right. And remember all those reviews raved about the Duke's groveling?
Oh, yeah.
So it sounds like he really goes all out to win her back.
Absolutely. And that's not just about winning Lottie back. It's about him proving that he's changed, that he deserves her love. It's a classic romance trope, but it sounds like it's done really well here.
Yeah. Speaking of the reviews, though, did you notice how many of them mention the supporting characters?
I did.
It seems like Susie Tate has created this whole world around Lottie and the Duke,
Yeah.
with friends and family who add all this depth and intrigue.
That's the sign of a great author, The ability to create this whole world with these secondary characters, that really enhance the main story. And in romance novels, those supporting characters, they can play a big role in bringing the main couple together.
For sure.
They offer advice, they're confidants. Sometimes they even create obstacles for the couple to overcome.
Right. It really makes you want to dive in. Now, I'm dying to hear more about this video review on the Kindle page. I feel like we've unpacked so much already. But a visual perspective could really add something. Should we move on to that?
Let's do it. All right, let's dive into that video review. Just imagine you're all cozy on the couch with your favorite drink, and this reviewer pops up, ready to gush about Gold Digger.
I can practically see it. And from what I've read, this reviewer doesn't hold back. They even said reading it was like getting a warm hug on a cold day.
Oh, that's sweet.
Right. Like, who doesn't want that feeling?
Exactly. It just goes to show you that a good romance can really give you that comfort and satisfaction. It's like you're escaping into a world where love wins, even when things are tough.
Totally. And this reviewer was especially excited about the chemistry between Lottie and the Duke. They called it electric. Sharp banter, palpable tension, and Well, let's just say those romantic scenes sizzle.
It sounds like Susie Tate knows how to build that anticipation, that slow burn, keep you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, she's got that skill. Oh, and get this.
Mm-hmm.
The reviewer actually sighed and fanned herself at one point, like she was reliving a swoon-worthy scene.
Wow. That's the power of a great author. To really pull you into the story, make you feel like you're right there with the characters.
Right. You're living it with them. Oh, and here's another interesting thing. The reviewer mentioned that Gold Digger is part of a series. Each book focuses on a different couple in the same social circle.
Oh, cool.
So we get to see this whole world of relationships and all the drama that comes with it.
That's so smart. It gives readers that sense of continuity, You get invested in these characters and their world. It's like a reward for being a loyal reader.
For sure, like you're revisiting old friends and meeting new ones. Speaking of new favorites, though, the reviewer really encouraged viewers to check out Susie Tate's other books. They raved about how emotional her stories are. And hey, you can't help but root for the characters.
It sounds like we've definitely uncovered a gem here.
We have?
From those power dynamics to the slow burn romance, and even those hints of social commentary. Gold Digger offers so much more than just your typical billionaire meets cleaner story.
It really does. So if you're looking for a romance that's both entertaining and thought-provoking, this might be the one for you.
Absolutely. And if you're interested in those themes we talked about today, like bridging social divides, the power of love, or just the complexities of relationships, definitely check out Gold Digger, dive into Susie Tate's world.
Yeah, it's worth it. Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a little something to think about. We talked a lot about the power imbalance between the Duke and Lottie. But what other kinds of imbalances could make for a great romance? What unique challenges would those couples face? Something to ponder whether you're reading romance or maybe even writing your own.
Ooh, I like that. And remember, the beauty of romance is that it explores all those complicated relationships, but with this backdrop of hope and resilience and the power of love.
So well said. All right, listeners, that's it for our deep dive today. Until next time, happy reading. And keep those deep dive suggestions coming.